In this video, I want to show you all of the different things I do after I upload my YouTube videos to make sure I get more views. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing I do is I make sure I have really good packaging for my video, which means having a good title and a really good thumbnail that makes people want to click. And that's actually something that I think a lot about even before I make the video, because if I can't come up with a really good title and a thumbnail that makes people want to click, then it doesn't really make sense to make the video in the first place, because then people most likely won't watch it anyway. So that's one of the most important things you want to make sure is on point to get more views. But to be honest, I don't always make sure that I have the exact title and thumbnail before I film the video, because it's also something that you can change and split test even after you uploaded the video. And you can even do it multiple times after you upload it. And we're going to talk a lot more about split testing later on in this video, because that's also super important. So yeah, I just make sure that I have a really good idea about how I want to package it and make sure that I'm actually able to package it in a really good way that makes people want to click. And a good rule of thumb in terms of getting more clicks on your thumbnail is to always make sure that you have a maximum of 3 elements in your thumbnail. Because a lot of times I see new YouTubers make the mistake of just stuffing all kinds of stuff in the thumbnail. And that just makes it super confusing, and you take way too much time to actually process what it's all about. So it's super important to make it really simple and easy to process. And then of course you also want to make sure that it sparks curiosity and makes the viewer think that they have to click on the videos to find out more and learn more about what it's all about. And the same thing goes for the title. And then also a really good tip to make sure you have a really good thumbnail is to zoom all the way out to maybe 10% and then see if all of the elements on the thumbnail still is super clear. Because oftentimes we sit on our computer designing these thumbnails, and then we have the thumbnail really big and we think that it's really good, but then once we zoom out we find out that some of the elements are really small and you can't really see it. And you need to make sure that it's visible even when you zoom out, because most people watch the videos on a phone where it's all really small. So that's a good test to make sure that it's clickable even then. And then in terms of the title, we want to make sure that we are really aware of whether we want the traffic to come from YouTube search or browse features and suggested videos. So then we want to make sure that we do SEO and include all of the right keywords in all of the right places. Whereas if we're optimizing for YouTube recommended, then we only have to optimize for the click. The next thing I do is writing the description and tags. And a pro tip in terms of writing the description is that most of my description is actually a template. So you can actually go into your settings, change your upload defaults, and then enter all of the information that you usually have in all of your videos. So for me, that's links to all of my socials, maybe general affiliate links and all that kind of stuff. So by doing that, you don't have to write all of the description every single time. You only need to add stuff that's specific to that single video. Now, if we chose to go after search traffic, then we want to make sure that it's optimized for that. And we do that by writing a bunch of relevant keywords in the beginning of the description. And I'm not saying that you should just stuff a bunch of relevant keywords in there, because keyword stuffing does not look good. So what I always do is I write a couple of lines about what the video is actually about, and I want to make sure that I include all of the relevant keywords and maybe also change up the words so that I include relevant keywords in different ways, or sometimes even different sentences. And for the tags, you have a maximum of 500 characters, and that doesn't mean that you absolutely have to fill it all out. Some people end up just spamming the tag section with all kinds of keywords that's also not relevant to the video, and we definitely don't want to do that. We always want to make sure that we only include really relevant keywords. Okay, so if that means that you only use 200 characters, then that's okay, but of course we want to fill it all out with relevant keywords if it's possible. Now, as I said, if we are optimizing for YouTube recommended, then the game is a bit different, because then we don't have to do SEO. So in that case, I pretty much just use the same template for every single video. I don't do any SEO in those, and then I just add relevant tags to it. So that one is pretty simple. Now, the keywords can also be included in the chapters. So that's the next thing I do. And the way I do that is just adding a timestamp in the description and then writing a bit about what that chapter is about. So pretty much just giving the chapter a title. So for example, to make the first chapter, I would write 00:00 and then write the title afterwards. And as I said, the title of the chapter can also include relevant keywords. So that's just another opportunity to add relevant keywords. And not only that, the chapters are actually also searchable. So your chapter can actually show up as a relevant search result, which is really cool. Now, there has been a bit of debate on whether you should include chapters or not, because some say that people just scroll past the stuff they don't want to watch and then end up watching less of the video, which overall hurts the video's performance. But to be honest, I don't think that it makes such a big difference. In my opinion, it just makes the viewer experience better. So I like to include it, especially in the long videos. Next up, I'm adding video cards, which is that little pop-up thingy that shows up in the top right corner of the video. But to be honest, I don't use that feature that much, but it's really handy if I'm referring to a specific video of mine in that video. Then I can just point to the corner and make a call to action, tell people to go there and watch that video if they want to do that. And then I add my end screens, which is that little box that shows up on the screen, and then you can click on it and go to the next video. And that feature is super important, because if you can get a lot of people to click on that, then you can make people binge watch your videos and get more views and more watch time. And what I found is that the best way to do that is have one specific call to action to one specific video, because back in the day I used to have multiple end screens so they could click on multiple videos, and I might just have a really vague call to action and say that if they want to watch more of my videos that they can click over here and stuff like that. And to be honest, not that many people clicked on them, because what I realized was as soon as you give people an option, then they get confused, and if that happens, then the easiest thing to do is nothing. And doing nothing in this case is not to click on any of these videos and just click away from the video. And of course, we don't want that to happen. So the best way to do it is just to have a really strong call to action and make sure that people want to watch the next video. Then you point to one single video, right? And if you want to see an example of how I do this, then just wait till the end of this video, because of course I'm also doing it in this video as well. The next thing I do is adding the video to a playlist, and I do that for a couple of different reasons. The first reason is that playlists are actually searchable, which means that it's another opportunity to get more search traffic. The second reason is that it's a super good way to put these videos into different categories and make it super easy to navigate on your channel. So in that way, the viewer can actually go to your playlist page and actually choose a certain topic and then watch all of the different videos you have on that certain topic. And a pro tip here is that you can also add these playlists to your home tab on your channel. So in that way, you can create a really easy overview of every topic on your channel. So for example, on my channel, if people are here to watch all of my videos about how to grow on YouTube, then they can just find the playlist on my home tab and then watch every single video on that playlist. And by making it super easy, you hopefully get more views and more watch time. And then a bonus about these playlists is that we can use the list link hack, which means that we can copy and then put behind the URL for every single video that we want to share. And then once we share it that way, then people will open the video in a playlist, and then it just makes it so much easier to just binge watch the content, because sometimes people just keep YouTube running and then the other videos will automatically play. So that's a really cool tip that I always make sure that I use every time I share my content, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, or even in my email newsletter. Next up, I'll add a pinned comment. Now, to be honest, this is not something that I do every single time, but it's a really good opportunity to get more traffic to a landing page, get more leads, or maybe get people to watch another video of yours. Or maybe you can just use it to spark conversation and get people to spend more time in the comment section, which also should give you more watch time. Now, once I've done that, I'll schedule the video depending on my current uploading schedule. Sometimes I'll post it on the same day, and other times I'll make sure that I have something that I can post every single week. And in that case, I'm scheduling further ahead. But something that's worth being aware of here is that you don't want to post it too fast, because it takes YouTube a while to render the video fully so that people are actually able to play the video in the highest quality. So in the video settings, you should be able to see different labels on the video. It's right beneath the video file name, and the labels say SD, HD, and then 4K, if you, of course, upload in 4K. And if the video isn't fully rendered, then one of the labels will still keep blinking. So you just want to make sure that all of the labels are there, up to 4K if you're uploading in 4K. The next thing I do is I let my short form editor know that I'm actually done with a video. Now I have a whole system with my Notion content calendar where I have an automation that automatically lets him know in Slack whenever a video is done. So all I have to do is move the video card from one section to another, and then he gets a notification that it's ready to be edited. And then he will go in and choose different parts of the video that can be turned into short form content, and then he will edit it and make it look really nice. And then once he is done, we have an automation again that lets me know that he's done with the videos. And then I mass schedule my short form content and make sure that it fits my uploading schedule. And then of course, I also make sure that I always link the short form content to the long form video. Because then when people watch my short form content, then people can click on the link video and then go and watch the full long form video. And then of course, it would be a shame to just only post the short form content on YouTube. So of course, make sure that it's scheduled on Instagram, TikTok, and all of the other platforms. And then what you could do is write a post about the new video on the community tab. And the community tab is a really good way to re-engage your viewers. So if they didn't watch the video after getting a notification or maybe seeing their subscription feed, then you can make this post on your community tab where you pretty much just write a bit about your video and give some calls to action to get people to watch the video and then link to the video. And then you can get more views in that way. Because sometimes people want to watch your content, but they somehow get distracted because life happens and then they don't get around to it. So this is a good way to give them another reminder. And it's actually not only something that you can do right after posting a video, it's also something that you can do with your old videos. So for example, if you have a really old video that did really well, but then you want to re-engage your audience and get people to watch it because it's a really important video and you want to give it a spike in viewership, then again, you can make a post on your community tab about that video. I have done that a ton on my biggest channel and it pretty much always gives a really good spike on the viewership. And then once the video is posted, then I try to respond to as many comments as possible. Because by doing that, I create more engagement. I show that I actually care about my viewers. So that just improves the whole community feeling on my YouTube channel. And it gets me more trust and strengthens my whole brand. And then it also sometimes gets people to come back to the video because maybe they watched the video, left a comment and then left the video. Then they see that I actually responded to the comment and then they hopefully come back and watch the video while they respond to my comment. So that's a really cool hack to get more views. But YouTube has actually changed the way you respond to comments. Back in the day, you always had to go back and watch the video to actually respond to the comment. But now I think they changed the flow so that you don't have to do that. You can just open a little window and just respond without actually watching the video. So that's a bummer, but I think maybe there's still a small chance that people will actually go back to your videos. At least they will get a reminder that you still exist, and then maybe they realize that, oh, I forgot to watch a certain video of Jacob's. So it definitely can't hurt to respond to the comments. So now it's time to wait until we get some data on how the video actually performs. And if it turns out that the video doesn't perform that well, then we can go ahead and split test the title and the thumbnail. Because that can really make or break your video. So you could have made a really good video that people really want to watch, but the packaging can just destroy your views completely. So if your video doesn't perform that well, then you can split test the title and the thumbnail depending on what you think is wrong. And then you can literally make a video that seems to be a total flop and then actually make it go viral, or at least perform way better than it did. And I usually wait a couple of weeks until I start doing that because I really want to get enough data to actually make a decision on what I should change. And sometimes it's even a good idea to revisit some of your really old videos and switch up the titles and thumbnails and split test things, because you can also revive those old videos and make them perform way better and give them a whole new life. So that's something you should continually play around with and improve over time. Now, I know that we could just use YouTube's own built-in split test feature, at least for the thumbnails. It's not yet available for the titles. But to be honest, I don't like the feature that much yet. I still use TubeBuddy's split testing feature because that one gives a lot more data. YouTube's built-in feature only gives you data on how much watch time each thumbnail generated. They give you the click-through rate, the average view duration, and stuff like that. So I feel like it's way easier to make an accurate decision based on that data. And I've also heard rumors that YouTube's built-in feature isn't that great and that it should actually be wrong like 80% of the time. So now, to be honest, I don't know if that's true, but it's a bit concerning. So for now, I will definitely stick to the good old TubeBuddy. Now, if you're currently struggling with getting those 4,000 hours of watch time that is required to get monetized on YouTube, then make sure you watch this video next, because in that video, I show you how easy it actually is to get those 4,000 hours of watch time. So click on that and then I'll see you in there.